Welcome to the Trading Show. Here at Sin City Crypto. Zen Master JP here, coming live to you from the Zen Lab. That's right, my home studio setup. Happy Memorial Day to everybody in America. And big shout out and respect to all the veterans that have sacrificed for the U.S. nation. America, I love it. Happy Memorial Day. I'm looking for some holiday scalps. That's right, Memorial Day scalps. So I'm glad you're here with me. Let's see who we got in the chat early. Legendary God King, I appreciate you so much being here, helping me out from day to day. Rex Futores, my big bro, good to see you. Ready to get some gains going. We got Arpsy, Helicopter Painter, Mohammed, good to see you. Well, folks, we got some movement in the markets today, don't we? Let's get right into the charts. Okay, daily time frame Bitcoin. Looking like another bottom here. I like it when we have like these rounded bottoms, and especially when we have a nice wick on the bottom of a candle. That's a bullish hammer candle on the daily. This one right here that we bottomed out on, and followed up by two more green candles, getting you above the 50 MA. So that's a bullish move. Could be another bottom. You do have a green dot on the daily time frame now. This could be three white soldiers, three green candles to reverse the price here, reverse this little retracement here, and maybe come up for another test at the 200 MA on the daily. I'm paying very close attention here. And the next stop for Bitcoin, if it keeps pushing up, looks like 78,900. That'll line up with the 21 MA on the daily. And above that, of course, the 200 MA around 80,000. Very psychological number there, 80,000. And let's take a look at liquidity real quick before we finish this top-down analysis. See how liquidity lines up with these levels. 5-minute liquidity, like right now liquidity, you see we already took a stab to the upside. We took out some liquidity at 77.8, came back down a little bit, coming back up. The liquidity is at 77,900. Didn't we just say that? 77,000, well, 78,900, sorry, is what a 21 is. Okay, so you get into liquidity and then you get into the 78,900, which is like up here. Right, way up here. Look at that red liquidity at 78,300, and even more liquidity at 79,000. We got a lot of liquidity above us, folks. Now, how about to the downside on these smaller time frames? I'm seeing liquidity at 74,183. I'm interested to see. I know we look at the 4-hour a lot for liquidity. Let's see what it looks like on the daily itself. Muhammad says ICP ripping. I'll surely take a look at that. But let's see what's going on with daily liquidity for Bitcoin. And yeah, look at this batch above us here, folks. That looks pretty high. Likely we take that out because you had a nice reversal here. Double bottom reversal brought you up. Bull trend, bearish retracement, normal and healthy. Putting in the bottom, a daily bottom, and likely coming to take 83,200. It's in the cards there. And that entire batch of liquidity on the daily can bring you up to 94,000. Very interesting. Now, let me get back to that top-down analysis for Bitcoin, and I'll get into some user requests, listener requests, whatever you want me to look at, okay? You really get my attention with the super chats, and it also helps to support this channel. So if you could please send a super chat for your deep dives, I will gladly look at it. But let me just look at the higher time frames real quick. Weekly was a little bit more bearish for Bitcoin with the high Stokes, right? But you are holding on to resistance, to support for now with the 21 MA there on the weekly. Overbought, but could just say, I don't care, and start curving up again. And looking at the RSI, you're only in middle of the range, money flow in the green. So not all doom and gloom on the weekly. It could bounce here, make a little handle, cup it out, maybe a cup and handle there and keep on moving up. Monthly time frame, very bullish. I'm looking forward to this monthly candle close in about a week. 6 days and 7 hours until the monthly candle closes, and this could give us 3 white soldiers once again, just like we have on the daily. And if you put in a green dot right here on the monthly, oh my gosh, what a macro move this could be, taking us up to 89 and potentially all the way back up and testing 110. All-time highs could be in the cards. I'm just doing a macro analysis here, not my opinion, but just what I'm seeing. Now for the bearish case, yeah, it could come up, even hit 89, 90,000. Bear flag, maybe we get a red dot and this could come down lower, making like an ugly, head and shoulder type of pattern on the monthly. It could happen. Let's go down some time frames. I want to jump all the way to the 4 hour for Bitcoin. Wow, is the 4 hour gonna make an inverse head and shoulder? Is that possible? All right, so this looked like a bottom at the time. It almost looked like an inverse head and shoulder, so you got to be careful, right? But it only dumped you. Ended up just being a bear flag. Dumped it down. Pretty serious dump. Took out some liquidity here, but it really just ended up making a head. It's like the more bearish you get, the more bullish you eventually get. And does this kind of make a actual inverse head and shoulder, a huger one, a bigger one? And do we get the real move? Measure that out. Do we get the real move back up to 80K where all the juicy red liquidity is that we just looked at? Possibly. I'll say this, you are overbought on the 4 hour at this time, maybe because it wants to make that shoulder, but yeah, as you can see, very overbought on a stochastic. You have the RSI pointing up. It is in demand. The trend is up for now on the 4 hour. I would say it's critical that it got past this resistance here, because that's where it was to likely dump if we were going to keep trending down. That was the zone to short right there. But it looks like it did not happen. Right now, we are having a trend reversal on the 4 hour, breaking above the 21 and the 50. Let's go to some smaller time frames. I want to look at the 1 hour. 1 hour past the 200, 50 about to cross the 200 as well, my yellow line. When you have these smaller moving averages crossing the larger moving averages, that tells you that there's a trend reversal. The trend was to the downside here, starting to reverse to the upside. Money flow pretty green. Nice little move there for Bitcoin on the 1 hour. 15-minute, very healthy bull trend. High, low, high, low, high, low. It's just kind of following the 21 and the 50. Do we have any bear div? Maybe some slight bearish divergence there. I do see some slight bearish div. Let's go ahead here and maybe look at some smaller time frames. 5 minute right now time frame for Bitcoin, trending up. Trending up on a 5 minute. High Stokes, red dot, could come down, could double top. Who knows? A little bit of bear div, but you are trending up in this channel here. Nice little trend. Let's go to the extreme right now. 1 minute time frame for Bitcoin. Above most moving averages. I do see somewhat of a head and shoulder on a very small time frame. Could dump Bitcoin the length of the head. That's not too dramatic, right? Bitcoin comes down, tests or loses the 50 MA, 77,006. I can see that strong bearish divergence there, but the money flow remaining intact. Pretty interesting here. Look at the money flow increasing. Okay. I do want to find some trade setups for you. And let me take a quick look at the NASDAQ, which is it closed already? Let me see. Yeah, so Rex, can you update me on what the hours were for the NASDAQ today? I know I saw the futures open earlier. I do understand that it is a holiday, Memorial Day, a bank holiday, and the NASDAQ is closed for regular trading, but we did have the NASDAQ futures open earlier. Can we get confirmation on that? It looks like that the futures are now closed already, or is it just a break? Because I don't see any movement. Oh, I lost it. 1 second. I don't see any movement. Go to a bigger time frame. Lower. Yeah, no movement on the electronic trading hours for the NASDAQ, but we can still analyze what it did so far here. And it looks like it just closed up. Was it right at 10? Yeah, right at 10 when I went live here, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But it did close out with a nice move. You see how we broke above the 200, the yellow line, retrace and continue to break out. Let's zoom out a little bit on the NASDAQ. See what's going on here. A little bit of a downtrend there. Trend reversal, 5 minute, 15 minute. I need to zoom out. Big run up. Consolidation. Looks a bit double toppy there. What a move. The NASDAQ was open yesterday. The futures were open on Sunday, and we traded that. In fact, I put out some banger trade alerts for you yesterday, and I'm looking to do some today. I do want to actually show you those trades we put out. I'll pull up the Discord here. All right, and here we go. Here are those banger trade setups. Yesterday, I did another live stream from the Zen Lab yesterday, and I showed you this trade on Bitcoin on a 1 minute time frame. We had that big dump just before the NASDAQ futures opened yesterday. And when the NASDAQ futures opened, a Bitcoin got a pump up. The NASDAQ had opened higher, and then Bitcoin retraced and did this falling wedge. And I saw this as opportunity. At the time, I put the trade out for you, and I called the trade alert. I called the trade alert. And shout out to anybody who took it. Anybody took that trade alert yesterday on Bitcoin? Who was here for the live stream yesterday? Put a 1 in the chat. Who was with me and who took that trade? Say, I took that trade because it hit the full TP. Now, I'll put my stop loss in the break even too soon and got stopped out. But who cares about me? I gave you the trade and the trade played out perfectly. Full TP hit. And then there was a second trade alert I put out yesterday, and was the Solana trade. Here it is on a 15 minute. Looks like an inverse head and shoulder. There was a lot of inverse head and shoulders within inverse head and shoulders on Solana. And I put out this trade alert yesterday. Take profit at 91. So take profit is not hit yet. You got the stop loss down at 83.45. I'm still in the trade and should be looking pretty gravy. I may take profit early on that trade. Let me take a look at, there we go. Where is Solana? Okay, yeah, we're up on a Solana trade right now. This is what the trade is looking like. Yeah. Just taking it up to 91. Honestly, you could take it up to 97. I don't want to be greedy here. Up 341 bucks on a Solana trade. Want to bring the stop loss and the break even as soon as I can. I'm also in a high risk SWE long right now based on the 4-hour time frame here, folks. Here's the SWE long. Now, we were up before, got stopped out at break even. I'm really trying to take this macro move on SWE. My entry was around $1.03, so a better entry than I had before. And let's see if we could take it up to the top of the range and make a mega trade for SWE. All it needs to do is get above moving averages here, 106. And then if it tests and breaks 116, we're off to the races. SWE will fly from 116 to 140, just like it did over here, okay? Especially if Bitcoin wants to move. SWE is a proxy of Bitcoin, and it likes to front run it, okay? So, yeah, we got trades cooking up, and I put out another trade this morning in the Discord. Big shout out to everybody who was a member of the Discord, and if you aren't, the link is in the description. I try to update it daily. I'm really going to make a conscious effort to update it even more, okay? Hold me to it, folks. I want to update that Discord and give you every single idea I'm thinking of as I'm thinking of it. Okay, I owe it to you. I want to get you paid. But I did put out another trade in the Discord for gold this morning. Let's see how that's faring out. Trade alert on gold. Let's get back to it. Here it is. Look at that perfect inverse head and shoulder on the 4 hour, a nice medium time frame for gold. I put a stop loss under the right shoulder at 4,485. My entry was around 4,565. Take profit at 4,753. I got a gold trade going on right now. Let's see how it's faring out here. Let's get rid of the Discord and get back into the chart here. XAU, USD, gold. Okay. The trade is still valid and doing its thing right now. There's the inverse head and shoulder on gold. Gold has been following Bitcoin, or I'll say aligned with Bitcoin. I'm sure gold has a much bigger market cap, but Bitcoin and gold has been aligned recently. Pretty interesting. But here is an inverse head and shoulder on gold. Not too late to take this trade, by the way, if you wanted to hop into a gold long. Big shout out to Greg. He says, I like that. Oh, man, I got to shout you all out, man. I appreciate the community so much. So here's the inverse head and shoulder on gold, starting to break out a little bit. And you see the 50 MA, that is a break of trend. Remember, the trend was down here. This is a reversal pattern, got above the 50 MA. If you hold that 50 MA, you clear this fair value gap here. There is a gap, okay? I can tell you right now that there's a fair value gap here from this dump. The same way you pumped up here, you dump here, you come back up quickly and test resistance at 4,669. At that point, I would be looking to take some profit, even if it doesn't hit my full TP. I'm looking to take profit around this range here. I'm in the gold trade, baby. Trade alert on gold, 4 hour time frame. Now, I'll say this, there's always a bullish and a bearish case, right? I could be wrong. I could lose. I could look silly. I don't want to look silly, but a good dump from here, as well as a pump. The bearish case is the stochastic is high, overbought, money flow red from this big bearish trend here. But I've seen time after time when you get a reversal that the stochastic is high, and that the money flow eventually shapes up. I'll say this, the volume is trending down too. The VWAP here, your volume weighted, moving average is a bit trending down. You want to see this start to curve a bit. There you go. See this start to curve a bit and start coming to the upside. The good news is the momentum is heading up. You see the momentum heading up, but there's some things working against this. But honestly, I put structure above indicators. Okay, I'll say that again. I put structure above indicators. Even if my stochastic is high, even if they're telling me red money flow, I see that as an inverted head and shoulder all day and breaking trend, heading back up to the upside. So I would take that, once again, 10 times out of 10, even if, my stochastic and even if market cipher is telling me something else, I'll take the chance. So gold trade. All right, guys, what do you want to see? What coins do you want me to get into right now? Find some scalps for you. I want to look at Bitcoin scalps. I want to look at Caspa scalps, Ondo. I want to look at Hype. I want to look at everything. Spam those coins for me, please. And if you want to get above the spam and really get my attention and look at it right now, send a super chat. And I truly appreciate that, okay? There is opportunity in this market, and we'll find it. We will find it here, folks. Let me go to the main ones first here, though. Let's see what we got. We got Solana. I'm in a Solana trade, but let me just look at the small time frames on Solana. All right, small time frame, Solana, 1 minute lost to 200, and now you're kind of bear flagging a bit right there. But do you get above resistance and say, hey, this is just a volatile holiday. We do what we want to do, right? And it's giving, not perfect, don't crucify me for this, but it is giving somewhat of a rounded cup potential handle. Now that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But you did have a big uptrend. You kind of curved out. You kind of, consolidated sideways, lost it, high volatility, kind of just in the range, really, right? On the 1 minute for Solana. We got to zoom out on Solana to really find what's going on here. Let's zoom it out. 30 minute. All I'm seeing is inverse complex right now. Inverse complex head and shoulder, kind of dump it, symmetrical recovery there. We like those. Very complex. I'm seeing somewhat of a complex, a little bit tilted inverse head and shoulder that could break up to the upside. It is above the moving averages. I'm bullish on Solana currently. Okay, let's look at hype. No, actually, let's look at ICP. I heard Muhammad say that ICP was pumping. Give me ICP. All right, come on. Can you work trading view? There we go. All right, hype. Let's look at some hype USDT. I don't love with those candles. Give me a good exchange. All right, Qcoin could work. All right, hype. Let's look at it on a 4-hour time frame. Oh, I was supposed to look at ICP. I'm sorry, Mohammed. Let me just look at hype real quick, then we'll get to ICP. Apparently, I really want to look at Hyperliquid here. So let's look at Hyperliquid on a 4-hour time frame. I see some bear div there, folks. You do have higher highs on price and lower highs on a stochastic RSI there, as well as market cipher B, telling us that this is losing steam to the upside. I see a double top there. I see a double top, and it is about to change character. It looks like it's about to head down. 2-hour time frame. Yep, you're losing momentum. Yeah, that's a double top, clear as day. 30-minute is very oversold. 15-minute, there's the 200, could give you some support there. There's a possibility that this just drags out and gets range bound, and that will be kind of healthy for a continued move. But right now, it's the medium time frame, and I bet the macro is telling us that hype may be heading down. Look at the volume on the 3-minute, though. They're trying to pump it up. They're trying. There's some serious bull div on a 1-minute time frame for Hyperliquid. They're trying to pump it, but if we go to the daily time frame, you're so overworked here. You need a break. You need a break. Oh, man. But I'll say this. The daily has no bear div here. No bearish divergence on the daily. Interesting. You do have a red dot, though. You have a red dot telling you that, we're currently transitioning into the sell program. This should start making its way down a little bit. But who knows? Once again, I'm no fortune teller. I'm going to go to ICP. Okay, ICP on the daily, big move up, got beat all the way down, gave it back, rounded bottom now, green dot, Stokes curved up. That was a long, a high risk scalp long right there. You could have did a daily scalp. Yeah, basically a daily scalp. It's a hell of a scalp, but look at the bullish engulfing candle right now. I expect this to come up to the 21, see a little bit of turbulence, and then show us if it has strength or not here. On the daily, that's a long trade. 4-hour time frame. Look at that. Breaking above the 200 as we speak. I like these kind of W patterns right here. Very ugly, but could reverse you. Smaller time frames, ICP. It is moving, baby. 15-minute, just look at that. Just doing what it should do. High, low, high, low, higher, high, high, low, higher, high. We're in the bull trend, baby. Now I'll say be careful of the pretty obvious bearish divergence here. You see it ever since here. Ever since way back here, you started putting in lower lows on the stochastic, RSI, and market cipher. Once again, that tells you you're losing steam. Now, but technically, if you can keep putting in higher lows by the same time having those lower highs here, this could be hidden bullish at some point. Some hidden bullish divergence, but healthy bull trend nonetheless on a 15-minute for ICP. 1 minute, huge retracement. But why are your Stokes so high? That's a bit bearish to me, I would say. Like, you came all the way up, reset. The Stokes went that high without price going anywhere. Now you got a red dot. That's a little bit bearish to me, and that looks somewhat like a bear flag just on a 1 minute time frame for ICP. Or even like a bearish pennant, maybe? What do you guys think? Bear pennant, bear flag. Wow, that red dot. Okay, it just went away and came back in real time. When you're using Market Cipher B, those dots can disappear in real time. They only really matter when they print, meaning the candle closes, okay? So, I don't know, a little bit shaky there on a 1 minute for ICP, I would say. All right, I want to hurry up and get into some scalps here. And I got to see what the casino is doing for Bitcoin. Let's get to it right now. Make sure I hit the live button, all right, this time, God King. And give me those casino sounds. All right, so Bitcoin, the demand is currently at 33. No, it's at 24. 24.79. We're on a pull to the downside right now. It called the pull to the downside at 33 demand. So current pull to the downside, but still in a buy signal apparently here, right? No take profit calling. How's the trades per minute? 9 trades per minute. I just saw it spike to 36. So kind of low, but you know, if you get to 36, you can 50, 60, then you start getting higher on the trades per minute. You see all the smaller time frames are bullish with all these green dots here. We do have some red dots on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, bearish trend on the 1 to 4 hour medium time frames, and the bear on the 1 day still. But the smaller time frames look bullish on Bitcoin. Once again, this is what we call the casino here. And we have demand positive, but it looks kind of double toppy, right? This is a 5 minute chart, Heikin-Ashi style candles. Really showing you the trend. A little bit double toppy there on a pull to the downside currently, but above the zero line. Okay, let me get back to Bitcoin on the very small time frames because I'm looking to trade scalps. All right, Bitcoin, 1 minute. That looks like a bear flag to me. You're bear flagging on the 200 MA. You lose the 200 MA, you go lower. Stokes high. That looks like a short. It's got to be honest. It looks like a short right now. I'm just going to plot the idea. Not calling this, just being very clear and not calling this as a trade alert right now. But I'm looking at a potential short here just based on the 1 minute structure. Now, high risk. I mean, this is, I mean, you see the big run up in the volatility here today. But I can see also that we are overbought. It looks like somewhat of a bear flag right here. At resistance at the 21. Let's see if we can get a good risk reward ratio here. And then line this up with liquidity. What if we take it like down here? I mean, let's not be greedy. Let's take it right there. That's a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, potential short on Bitcoin. And you can still be bullish on a daily. Just because you take a short scalp don't mean you can't be bullish on, you know, higher time frames. But let's take a look at liquidity again. Give me this very small time frame, 5 minute. Does this line up? Is this high risk? Is this too high risk of a short? Especially with all this blaring liquidity above us on the 5 minute. Let me zoom out. Yeah, that liquidity is pretty far down. Give me a 15-minute time frame. Generally, I try to, you know, trade into liquidity. I like to trade into liquidity and out of liquidity. You know, for example, I like to long this up into this red. And if I wasn't in that trade, sometimes I would short from the red. Like you could long into the red, it takes it, puts a liquidation wick, and then you short it down. You know, I like to long into liquidity, or basically trade into liquidity. But at the same time, you know, Bitcoin is going to do what it wants to do on a smaller time frames. Let's go back to that potential scalp. Will this invalidate the potential short trade here if you get above the 200 and break above the pattern? Right now, it looks like it's still valid, though. Potential trade, high risk, high volatility, I would say. How's some other coins, folks? What should we be looking at? I'm gonna look at Tau. I'm still in a bigger 4-hour time frame trade on Tau. And you got double bottom, breakout, lost it completely. Technically another bottom. You got a double bottom within your double bottom. High Stokes right now. Money flow still technically red, a bit shaky. You're on my 200, the yellow line. There is a battle right here, folks. Look at the wicks, upside wick, downside wicks. There is a battle for Tau, for direction. Volume could be a bit better there. Let's look at some other time frames. Let's go to maybe a 1-hour time frame. That looks a little bit more bullish. You see the complex inverted above the moving averages there on the 1 hour. You do have stochastic and RSI. With a stochastic pointing down, the RSI trying to come up. A little bit of a disagreement there. Money flow green. That's a complex inverted head and shoulder, making a lot of those lately. So Tau still all right. Shout out to Aranis. Wants to see Swee. Alamo knows. Hello, how's it going? Happy Memorial Day. If you celebrate the holiday, even if you don't celebrate the holiday, it's a great day to, you know, for family, friends, outdoor activities, scalp trading Bitcoin, grilling, hopping in the pool. One day we'll do like a poolside stream. We'll scalp Bitcoin at the pool, or maybe in a hot tub. I gotta get a hot tub just for that purpose. That would be pretty amazing. Living the life. Back in the chart, Swee. Swee, baby, Swee. Swee, baby, Swee. Swee, baby, Swee. 1 hour time frame. Same time frame. We're just looking at Tau. 1 hour time frame. I'm seeing that slanted, inverted, complex head and shoulder again. It's everywhere. Check it out. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline here. Let me actually get a trend line. There we go. A little cleaner. Neckline about there. So you see Swee attempting to break above the neckline on the 1 hour. Trying to break above that neckline. Heavy resistance right here at 106, 200 in May. Very overbought. Very overbought with bearish div. So there's a battle to get that thing back above, but you know, it could do it. Let's look at some small time frames. Let's look at some large time frames. 5-minute Swee, bull trend. Wow. It's doing its thing. It's a little bit too vertical for my likings, but it's kind of getting a nice move there. That's a pretty nice move for Swee. Rising channel. Careful of bearish divergence. It'll break down. Eventually, this should retrace at some point, but you're bullish on the 5-minute right now on Swee. 1 minute, same thing. Hugging those moving averages, making its way up. Let's go to some larger time frames. 4-hour time frame. This is the time frame that I am trading. I love the 4-hour. And the reason why I'm trading this is because of the huge move up. And then you had a nice retracement. Well, a little bit more than a huge retracement, right? Let's get a Fibonacci tool going here. Maybe we'll measure from here. Here we go. So this is a deep retracement here, folks. This thing went under the 786. That's like a freaking 80 to 90% retracement there. Deep. And you're coming back closer to the 786 now. And that is lining up. I was about to say, without even noticing, it's lining up with the point of control of the range. You see how this blue line here, that blue line is not the 786. That blue line is from my visual range volume profile. And it's showing that this is the POC of the range, that 786. So it makes sense that we're attracted to it. You need to flip that POC and get to that value area high up here to really do some damage. Let's see what happens if we pull the fib from way down here, the bigger move. Oh, you see how that lines up 786 style? So when you're using indicators, none of this stuff is perfect. You know, it's all kind of ballpark, you know, and different ways to look at it. So I like to look at it a bunch of different ways because maybe, you know, from a data analysis standpoint, you know, that's the low and this is the high and there's your fib range, perfect 786 bounce. I like the trade. Now you lose that 786 again. I'm out of the sweet trade. But I'm bullish on this potentially coming back up, retracing, and maybe we get a quick move like we did here again. I don't know how it's going to look. Once again, your boy's not a fortune teller, but I know that when you're in a big uptrend like this, you retrace, and then you start having a micro reversals like you do on the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute. That's a micro reversal. The trend was down until you cross these important moving averages. SWE is heading up currently on the small time frames. You give it time, that influences the larger time frames. So I'm still in a SWE swing long, believe it or not. Flux 1 hour, Greg. Let's see what we got for you, Greg. Flux 1 hour. Oh wow, Sammy special bull flag above the 200, touching the 21. We call that a Sammy special, folks. That's right. Shout out to the legend Sammy Cup and Handy. Taught me just about almost everything I know. Him and Frankie Candles, man. I really appreciate these people giving free education. So check this out. That's a bullish consolidation. Bull flag, looks like a bull pennant a little bit. Breakout. That broke out. And it looks like it will continue to break out. I'll give you a measured move. All you do is measure where you broke out from. Take it to the top of the flag. And voila, you got your measured move. Takes it to 0.0825. So like 8 cents. 8 cents for Flux. I can see that. And look, that kind of lines up with previous consolidation and resistance there. Not too bad. You could potentially do like a TP1, TP2 thing. Maybe first TP around 0.0784. Because I do see, some previous consolidation here. But then again, looking at that VRVP, you see the indentation and the lack of trading volume right here. That's what you call a fair value gap. There is a gap in value of what people are willing to pay for Flux. So you could consolidate with that. You could just get the quick move based on that volume and get up to, about 8 cents for Flux. Pretty nice. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Greg. Appreciate you. All right, I want to really get in this chat now. What's going on, folks? Once again, happy Memorial Day. We holiday scalping. Muhammad says Tau to 15K, ETH to 20K. That's very bold predictions here. Helicopter painter, SWE, please. Did you not just see the SWE trade? We were just showing SWE. I'll show you briefly again, but we were just looking at SWE. SWE is looking pretty decent on that 4 hour. Small time frames are starting to break trend. The trend was down, it's starting to break trend to the upside. Alexios, hello. Let's see who else we got in the chat. Make some noise. Where are you, folks? How are you doing? TK says, are you muted or is it just me? Am I muted? You guys hear me loud and clear? I think you hear me loud and clear. RFC says TON. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to get into TON. I gotcha. TON. TON. Let's look at it. This was that like Telegram coin. Let's see. Whoa. 1 hour complete utter breakout. Look at the volume. Oh, man. That's the big breakout. Would I go long on that? No. Would I buy a retracement? Yes. So breakout from there. Measure the move. Now, the thing is, this move may not even be done. But based on the fib range, we should be looking for a retracement around this range somewhere. Maybe you come down, touch the 200 one more time, bull flag, rip, potential long trade there. Or you could short it. You could short it on some smaller time frames. Like, for example, high risk 5 minute. High risk 5 minute time frame. You did put in a red wick to the upside. Somewhat of a bearish engulfing candle there. You're now on your 3 red candles. Wouldn't that be like 3 white soldiers in reverse? If I flip the chart, hit Alt-I to flip your chart, folks. Alt-I, you flip it. So those are the kind of bounces I like to buy, right? So if I would buy this, you should be able to short that, right? But careful, you know, even if I were to buy it, couldn't this just be somewhat of a bear flag and dump? So careful, high risk. I would prefer to long it once we get a retracement. But if you're that high risk person, you want to make money both down and up, that is a short right there on TON because of the big move up. Look how far you are from some of those moving averages. 1 minute time frame on TON. Yeah. Starting to go sideways a bit. I expect consolidation. I expect a potential retracement. Hey, Kate. Hello. Welcome in. I know who you are. You like my switching skills here? Hey. Welcome to Sin City Crypto Holiday Edition, live from the Zen Lab. That's right, baby. I want to do this a lot more often. The studio is closed today, folks. The studio is closed. We wanted to give everybody the day off to enjoy with their family, enjoy the holiday, you know. And I am going to, you know, hold you down here. No days off for the Zen Master. I want to make sure you get your trade setups and some trade alerts. Trade inbound. We got to get some trade alerts, folks. We got to get some trade alerts going. Where is the opportunity? Help me here. I do see the short on TON, though, potentially high risk. I'd rather long it with a retracement. ARB. Let's look at ARB. All right. All right. Why does that keep happening? Hey, can I default my my trading view tool, you know, to the crosshair, not the freaking brush? Man, okay. 1 hour, I'm seeing a micro trend reversal here. Once again, trend down clearly. But now you broke above the 50. But hey, Zen Master, you broke above the 50 here too. Yep. But you did do a head and shoulder dump. Broke above the 50 here. Big red candle. Both of these 2 candles consumed it. Dump it. We have no red candles yet. No sign of stopping for ARB. I think it may have conquered the 50 MA. It may have conquered it because even if it retraces, right, it could just come down, touch it one more time, and then come up to the next resistance at the 200. Or you just come up and test the 200 right now, and maybe that's the rejection, and maybe that's the short play right there on ARB. I'm on a 1 hour time frame. Gonna look at a 4 hour. Same thing. A medium time frame trend reversal possible here. But I mean, you're approaching resistance. High Stokes could get rejected. High money flow into red, saying the trend is still down. So maybe a high probability short on ARB here, possibly. But if you keep going sideways a bit like you're doing here, and you keep making these like W looking patterns, the more sideways you go, the more likely you eventually reverse rounded bottom. So I will look for that. It's a little bit early to try to long that on a 4 hour. I think the short is more probable for ARB, Arbitrum. Daily time frame. Man, what a retracement. The daily says long though. You see how different time frames can be? It's very, very important, you know, to excel in this trading world by understanding how all the time frames affect each other. The macro time frame, you know, like the daily and the weekly is the main driver, but it's very slow, snail's pace, but it affects and influences the smaller time frames. The smaller time frames influence the larger time frame, and it's much quicker, but with a lot less, you know, influence. So the daily says long, but it could just be a dead cat bounce. You get these green dots and then you hit a red dot, but that is a bullish engulfing candle on the daily. Cannot be understated. Bullish engulfing on the daily, red dot, stochastics on the floor. Get back to the chart, sorry. That stochastics on the floor there. Green dot, potential reversal. I would feel more comfortable with the 3 white soldiers, 3 green candles in the row, but super early, high risk, early entry on a swing long for ARB, right? Can you see a potential shoulder? Once again, inverse head and shoulder season here. We're seeing it everywhere. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Measure the head. This is what can happen on the daily for ARB. Gets you up to 18 cents. Fill in this fair value gap here. I see it. It's likely, especially if Bitcoin wants to do damage on the macro. All right, guys, send those super chats in. I want to see your appreciation. I want to see your appreciation for the TA I'm giving here. I'm giving you gems. I'm giving you jewels. I'm paying you. I'm essentially paying you. You can blindly follow me, my TA. I don't recommend that. But if you must, and I know a lot of you will, we're making you money here. I want to get back to Bitcoin and not lose sight of what we got going on here. Once again, daily time frame for Bitcoin has a green dot that it gave us on Saturday. We now have 3 green candles. This candle close will be pretty important in 6 hours for Bitcoin. It could be putting in another daily bottom, or maybe we just roll over again, right? The Zen God is infinitely open-minded. Laura, I need you. I forget to switch. I'll forget to hit the button when I'm deep into my screen here, okay? You got to flip the button, flip the button. I need you, Laura. I miss my studio. All right, could be a bear flag still on the daily. The Zen Master is open-minded, okay? Small time frames. Let's get back to the small time frame. Okay, what we got going on here? 1 minute time frame. Yeah. So if anyone was here not too long ago, about, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes ago, when I was looking at Bitcoin in a small time frame, I projected a short trade here. It wasn't an official trade alert, but it looked like it was going to dump to me. And so far that's dumping, you know, it's doing exactly what it should do based on the market structure we see there. So you see it played out. This is literally my first time getting back to it. I have to go into some alts. So it's almost at the full measure move. That was a trade right there. 1 minute. 1 minute for Bitcoin. Anybody take that trade, by the way? Anybody jump the gun? Anybody jumped the gun on the Zen Master and took that trade? Because that was a nice little short trade. You could have just scalpalino right there. Let's see other time frames for Bitcoin. What? Look at that big old blaring double top. Let me lock this. Let me lock that trade there. Yeah, that's a double top on a 5 minute. That's a double top with some bearish divergence a bit there too. That could dump you. The way you measure that is your neckline. Boom. Take you back below the 200 MA. I can see it. Bear div, double top. I'm seeing some bearishness on a very small time frames for Bitcoin right now. 15 minute looks a lot like the 5 there. Rising channel. These rising channels eventually break down. 1 hour. 1 hour is pretty bullish. This got to be one of the most bullish time frames I've seen so far, besides the daily. Clear trend reversal. Anytime you see price passing a moving average after a big dump, that's a trend reversal. Reversing from dumping to pumping. Now you're a little bit far from the 21. The 50's coming close. So what I can see happening right here, and I'm just projecting, is that Bitcoin does continue to come down slightly. You touch the 21, giving you a technical Sammy special on the 1 hour. And then you have the 50 MA. Look at it inbound. Your 50 MA is very close to crossing the yellow line. When that happens, you normally get a pretty big move. So I can see Bitcoin retracing until the 50 crosses on a 1 hour and then potentially a move. I can see it. Let's go to a random 8 hour. 8 hour money flow red recently went into the red on the 8 hour. And I can see somewhat of a double top here too, you know, resistance, right? Somewhat of a double top. I still do see what could be inverse head and shoulder. Always open-minded to that. But right now it's a double top. Overbought, money flow red, VWAP heading down. I'm seeing more bearishness on the smaller time frames, medium time frames kind of, I don't know, almost, yeah, overbought. Small, okay, 1 minute. Let me get back to the 1 minute for Bitcoin. There we go. Look at it, volatility. Volatility. So let me phrase it like this. I just want to phrase it properly so you guys can get a feeling for the market here. So the small time frames are making moves, but it's a bit shaky on a super micro right now. It's dumping on the super micro. When you go to like 15 to about 1 hour, you're pretty bullish still, but with some divergence, okay? 1 hour looks like it could come down a bit, but it's healthy for the larger move. I'm seeing the larger move on the daily time frame. Still have that green dot. Yeah, so it looks bullish on the macro. Medium time frames, pretty bullish. 1 minute is coming down. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's look at liquidity again. Any changes here? Not really, still to the upside. You know, we got to look at the crypto bubbles. Let's actually bring that up right there. Crypto bubbles. Let's see what's going on in the market today. Anybody notice crypto bubbles have been pretty slow lately for some reason? I mean, I'm dealing with 2 gig internet here, you know, so I'm not being cheap on the internet. My internet is not slow. What's going on with crypto bubbles? Okay, so this is by market cap right now. Give me like by the day, 1 day. I see DEXY running up 14%. Looks like we need to look at DEXY. Yeah, let's look at DEXY next. I'm seeing H up 21%, FET up 9%, Render 9.7%, TIA 15% up, near 11%. I see gains. TON up that 17%, Stable up 10. I'm seeing a lot of moves for the day in altcoins right now. Let's see what's going on in the past hour. Okay, we got some dumps. UB down 4.2, render down 3.2, near down 2.5. H doesn't care. I feel like we may need to look at this H coin, whatever that is, because it's running even though Bitcoin is retracing right now. So pretty interesting. All right. What was I say I was going to look at again? One day it was Dexy. Let's look at Dexy. Look at that Bitcoin scalp. Don't hesitate, Zen Master. Call those trades. I clearly saw a bear flag dumping down. Honestly, you know, I would be stop loss and break even already if you took that. Maybe even take profit early, because it's just, I don't know. You see the bullish divergence here on the come down and how spicy these candles are being currently. Be very careful. I want to look at Dexy. Dexy, we gotta zoom out. Here's a 1 hour. That's a bull flag. Doesn't look about mature enough for me though. What a move. Wow. Let me just zoom out. Daily time frame. Just completely, utterly ripping. What a rippage for Dexy. Holy moly. Oh, man, where do you start here? Basically, huge run up, blow off top, a bit of a double top. You measure it. That double top actually played out, believe it or not. It's more like that. There you go. I measure, you know, the length of one of these tops. And that brings you down perfectly, dumped you there. That's why, you know, I look for shorts at the double tops. Double top, dumped it to the measured move, found support, and then trended back up and broke out. So that puts it in a bigger pattern at that point. There's the bigger pattern, the bigger trend, ascending triangle here. Broke out of the pattern. Dexy doing damage on the daily. Interesting. All right, let's go to the 4 hour time frame. Let's get rid of this idea here and look at the 4 hour independently. Okay, big move. Starting to flag out a little bit. You kind of need it. Red dot completely overbought. Potential short here, guys. I wonder if there's a double top on a smaller time frames, but you see this thing is consolidating now. Now you can consolidate sideways, get tight, and pump. You can start consolidating down. That's healthy. Touch the 21, pump. You could say screw your TA and just pump it now. Screw your TA. All possibilities. But red dot overbought, potential short there if you're high risk and like short and blow off top uptrends. 5 minute. Look how extended that is. And starting to give like Bart Simpson vibes a little bit there. I call it the Bart Simpson because, you know, it's kind of like a Bart Simpson head. Big move up. Chop, 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 chop. And then you eventually just lose it. And there's your Bart Simpson. And Bart Simpson has those big old eyes, right? I think I just made like a high Bart Simpson. I don't know. Yeah, he looks he looks stoned. What's going on here? Bart Simpson. All right. A potential Bart Simpson on the smaller time frames, a 15-minute on Dexy, if you like shorting these kind of things. Let's go to a 5-minute time frame. Just chopping. Look at that. Just chopping in the range after a huge move. 3-minute, flirting with a micro trend reversal to the downside. Just hugging the 1 minute 200 sideways. Sideways after a big move equals Bart Simpson eventually. I mean, it's bullish consolidation. Yes, it's bullish consolidation. But at a certain point, you got to break out. If you don't break out, it starts to look Bart Simpson. Once again, let me just refresh myself and go to a daily time frame here on Dexy. Yeah, that huge move, breakdown, break up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this came down a bit. You still do have a green dot on the daily, though. Very interesting. All right. Whew. Once again, I appreciate everybody being here. If you are brand new, I'm looking for brand new people. We're trying to grow this channel, you know, and spread the love, spread the trade setups, the trade alerts. If you're brand new, type of 7. That's my favorite number. If you're brand new, type of 7 so I can greet you properly and welcome you to the channel. Plain Sailor, hello, hello. Not as stoned as me. I got to say this, you know, being stoned and trading is not a very good idea. Okay, don't ask me how I know that, but not a good idea. Muhammad, bonk to OM. We got Jenny Do It. Good to see you in the chat. Rex Futores. Hey, everybody, don't forget to sign up for Bitunix to enter the Sin City trading competition. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Rex. I appreciate you for the reminder. I'll show folks here. Let me pull up the Discord and show you the trading competition we have going on here on Bitunix. Here in the Sin City Discord. Let's go to the main chat. And here it is. All right. I love Bitunix. Let me say that again. I love Bitunix, even before I was associated with Sin City Crypto. But now that I'm associated with Sin City Crypto, we have a promotion and including a $15,000 trade pool, prize pool, giving away $15,000 total. Okay, all you have to do is just trade. Trade under our link. The link is in the description of the video. And if you put in high volume, you know, your better chance of winning this money here. First place, a 30% of a portion of the prize pool. So this $15,000 prize pool is, first of all, half of that is going to be, you know, cash. Half of that is, you know, discounts on trading fees, like credits. I just got to be honest, okay? Being honest and transparent here. Half of the prize pool is credits, you know, for Bitunix to save on fees, but that's still a lot of money, $7,500 cash, right? So of that entire prize pool, 70% of that prize pool is for the trading volume competition. Put in high volume, higher chance of winning. First place gets 30% of that cut. Second place, 20%. Third place, 16%, and so on and so on. We got 10 winners in that category. And then we also have the ROI competition. Oh, look, I can zoom in here. Beautiful. The ROI competition is 30% of the total prize pool, and first place 30%, second place 20%, and third place 16%. Okay. And let me say this, even if we wasn't having a trading competition, I got to be honest, I would still recommend Bitunix as an exchange. It's the easiest as far as moving your stop loss, moving your take profit. They even have this, risk reward scale. This new feature they have here. Let me show you real quick. Somebody give me a random coin. Let me see. Maybe ICP, something that I'm not trading right now. I just want to show you the beauty of Bitunix. So let's say if I wanted to trade the 4-hour time frame and I wasn't sure how I was going to scale my trade for my account size, you know, I could just click right here on the right side. Let's say I want to enter a trade, and they have this, you see right here, fixed risk. So it has set fixed risk for you, 1-to-5 risk reward ratio. Just put the max you're willing to risk, you know. So the most I want to risk is $50. That's it, $50, and then just simply limit or mark it in. Maybe I have to trigger market $50, and then go ahead and buy. Here you go. Okay. And what it's going to do is, what I didn't do is put my stop loss in. But when you put your stop loss in and you take profit, it'll scale for your stop loss and take profit. Let's see if I can do it correctly here. Risk $50, 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. Okay. And buy. I'm not sure how to add a God King. Maybe you got to help me. I'm not sure how to add the stop loss there. I usually do it right here on this window, like the actual window, but you can put your stop loss there and it'll like kind of scale it. 50, 1 to 5, buy. Okay. But even if you didn't add a stop loss at first, you see how I just dragged the stop loss off of the entry like that? That's super cool. I love that about Bitunix. You know, the interface is just amazing. So I'm now in a ICP trade, apparently. I'm going to close out. I'm not keeping that open. But yeah, trade and volume competition, ROI competition. They also have like just based on, you know, how much you're making off your margin, your ROI, you can also win 30% of the prize pool for that. So we like Bitunix. We like it a lot. Dexy ripping. Let's get back to Bitcoin. Once again, super chat for deep dives and coins. Here we go. Bitcoin on the very small time frames. And there we go. Bitcoin getting a bounce. Bitcoin getting a bounce. Give me the 1 minute so I can really see. So for anybody who was in that trade that I did not officially put out, but saw as a possibility, I hope you took some profit or at least a stop loss and a break even, as I, advise you to do as your non-financial advisor. Say that again. As your non-financial advisor, I advise you to take profit here when I saw this come down. But this looks like it's starting to reverse a little bit here. Bullish divergence coming back up to resistance right now. And let's see, is there a trade? Is there yet another trade here for Bitcoin? It's making somewhat of a double bottom there. I need higher time frame. 1 hour, pretty bullish, but with bearish divergence. Yeah, look at that. Look at that move once we got above the 200 MA there for Bitcoin. I could see this doing something like this. That could technically be a shoulder, head. Once again, inverted head and shoulder season right now on Bitcoin. But I don't see a high probability setup. That was pretty high probable, that little dump, and that played out. But I don't really see a high probability setup right now, just being honest. Let's see, is this technically a higher low? It is. It's a higher low with equal highs. This could be an ascending triangle again for Bitcoin. That's bullish consolidation. Break you out to the upside. Very likely. Oh, yeah. Breakout. Shout out to God King, reminding me about breakout as well. So if you don't know, we also have, there's a crypto prop trading firm. You all heard of prop trading firms. We have one for crypto, especially. Let me log into mine. Breakout prop. Log me in, baby. Should already be logged in. I am logged in. Open my terminal here. I do have a Tau trade cooking. Here we go. I have a Tau trade cooking on breakout. It looks like I'm on a daily time frame right now, but it was a 4-hour trade. There's my trade for Tau, currently in profit, up 483. My take profit is around 377 and stop loss at 242. Now, this is a pretty nice trade I got going on and not using my capital. What a beautiful thing, you know how to trade, but you may not have the proper capital just yet. Breakout may be for you. So, check out Breakout, breakoutprop.com, discount code and reference code OLA, OLA. I think they're still doing a discount right now for Sin City Crypto, folks. So, I mean, you get yourself a cheap eval. You do have to pay for the evals, like $100, whatever. They got smaller ones, $80, $150, depending on the level, the trade size. I'm sorry, the account size that you want. And then you have to pass an eval. Like you have a certain target. Like right now, my target is to get to 56K. I have a $50,000 account. I'm trying to get to 56K to get fully funded, and then I can make money daily, not using my money. Pretty interesting. Bitcoin, filling this pattern right here on the 5-minute bullish consolidation, ascending triangle. That could be tradable, honestly. That could be tradable. I need more alts, folks. What is running? Back to those crypto bubbles. I'm interested about what H is. Anybody know what H is? And like, how would I even look that up? Just H? There it is, HUSDT. All right. Bybit. H on a 5-minute completely running. All right, let's zoom out, put it into perspective, daily time frame. Okay. Bullish consolidation, bear divergence, could be breaking back up here. This is a daily. Stokes very low. RSI pointing up there, curved. That's pretty bullish. That was a nice entry right there on H. And the crazy thing is, this is not even like a big move. So you're telling me there's bigger moves for H? It seemed like it was doing a big move, but this on the daily is not that big of a move. Like, could you still trade this? Clearly there's a trend there. Equal highs, you break up. I have no idea what H is, but I see this as a potential trade. And I think I'm going to call, this might be the first trade alert here, folks. Oh yeah. A 5-to-1 risk reward ratio on a daily. I don't know. I'm putting out a trade alert for a coin I don't even know. Just based on TA. I don't see why not. Trade any asset in the world with these skills here. That's a green dot, low Stokes. All right, I'm calling it. God King, put it in the books.
Attention, trade inbound. Attention, trade alert. High probability setup found. Time to blindly follow JP. Sin City Crypto. New trade alert. This is not financial advice.
That's right. Absolutely not financial advice. Only take this if you're just as risky as me and want to go for a trade on a daily time frame for H. Now we're at resistance right now. Top of the pattern. Does it break out or does it fill more? I'm just being honest here. It could fill more, but you know, if you so two different ways you can do it. You can get in now. You can wait for a better entry down here, or you let it break out and get a bullish retest, right? That might be the most likely there. Either way, I'm putting the freaking entry now because we don't care. We need a trade alert here. Entry now. I'm putting the stop loss below the pattern. So entry now, or if you want to get a better one, wait, whatever you want to do. But I'm calling entry now, 0.26 on H, a stop loss at 0.18. Nice deep stop loss below the pattern. And this looks like it's like a 5-to-1. Oh, let me fix this. Bring that up. What is the real history on H? You know what? That resistance is a bit close. I'm going to have to tighten the stop here. I might have to tighten the stops because we're only getting about a 2 right now. I know some TradFi people don't mind that, but let me tighten it just a little bit. Tighten it below the pattern. There we go. At least a 2.3. This is a kind of a macro, long setup on H. This could break out. This could potentially also cup and handle right there. All right, cup and handle back down to support and break out. But yeah, I see H breaking up out of this bullish consolidation. I don't think it's going to lose it. I don't think it's going to get stopped out. So entry now, stop loss at 19 cents, 0.196. Take profit up at 0.42. A bit of a high risk trade on a coin I don't really know, but the daily looks like it is going to break out. Green dot, Stokes reset, ready to make some move. Ready to make some movement right now. Now, give me something I know, baby. Give me let's look at AVAX. AVAX. Ooh. AVAX still look like a big old bear flag on the daily. What's up with that? Got any AVAX bulls here? JD. I'm glad that trade alert got your attention. That's what it's for. AVAX doing nothing. Just give me nothing. What's going on? We don't like AVAX no more. Just giving me nothing. Okay, there's something on the small time frames. Look at that. Small time frame, micro trend reversal above the 200 on the 5-minute. Okay. Making moves on a small time frame. Can that slowly start affecting the larger time frames? Where's the next battle? The next battle I'm seeing is like the 2 hour. See how you're still below the 200 and you got that rounded bottom there. You got a head, you got a right shoulder. I don't know where your left shoulder is. You got a big old, uneven left shoulder there. I don't know what's up with that. But potential, reversal on AVAX here. 4 hour at resistance, perfectly at resistance, completely overbought. Yeah, I'm just not in love with the macro, man. The daily, the 3-day, like, what are you doing? Can that stop happening? What are you doing, AVAX? Weekly looks absolutely horrid. Red dot, overbought. Curving over a little bit. Bear flag. Take me lower, AVAX says. Either this is the front run, a most amazing entry ever on what could be eventually, some type of double bottom or something, or this just dumps, down to new lows. And can you even afford new lows on AVAX? Not really. If we break this level, you got a fair value gap that brings you all the way down to $3.60. But also look at the monthly momentum. Look at that. All the way at the bottom, green dot, Stokes completely suppressed and starting to curve up now. High risk. Let me put my thinking cap on here. If Bitcoin breaks major resistance to the upside, I will be willing to long AVAX, but not at this time. Not at this time. The monthly could eventually do some type of double bottom. I don't know. Not even like bullish divergence there. But you see how many times it bounced from the zone. Bounce. With a green dot, low Stokes. High risk. But what an entry, right? Legendary entry on AVAX. If Bitcoin wants to go to 130K in 1 week. Right, God King? Interesting low here. If Bitcoin wants to go to 130K, we'll see what happens. Wow. I'm going to keep my eye on AVAX. I know a lot of you sleeping on AVAX, but I think AVAX might do something. Let's see. Shout out to Todd Keaton. Jenny ENS is my heist alt. What do you mean by that? You just kind of make money off of it? Planet Sailor says poor AVAX. Seriously, poor AVAX. They don't have a lot of nodes and network activity. Let's see. SUI high time frame breakout. Is that true? By the way, I got SUI directly behind me so I can see it at all times on my my secondary setup there. I do see SUI kind of making moves a little bit there. Let's see. Deep dives, coins, put them out. Put them out. Put them in a super chat. Show some support for the channel. We appreciate you. Let me see. I'm scrolling through the chat. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, get back to Bitcoin. Got to keep checking on Bitcoin. BTC on the right now time frame. All right. All right, 1 minute so far rejected at the 200, but you see what is forming there, right? I don't even have to say it. You do see what's forming there. Stokes is starting to reset, and what's forming is that inverted head and shoulder once again, but lose this level. I see much lower. There you go. There's your level for your shoulder. Shouldn't go below that if it wants to start getting bullish again. We'll see what happens. All right, Solana, I'm going to look at again. But yeah, let's look at that consolidation on Bitcoin on a 5 minute. I think that's healthy. I think that's bullish. I might as well put out another trade alert, man. What if we long the bottom of the pattern, use the 200 MA for support or safety? The risky part about this trade is what you see, that this technically a double top. Remember this double top right there? That dumps you. Will it stop us out if it dumps us? No, it wouldn't. It would just kind of give us a nice entry, really. Okay. So it's valid then, even with the double top. So if you're seeing this and saying, oh, Zen Master, that's a double top, you can't long that. Yeah, I can, because this can still dump and either find support at the bottom of the pattern or just kind of leave the pattern briefly and come back in it. I see this as some, ascending triangle bullish consolidation on a 5 minute. I'm going to enter around now. Bottom of the pattern, we're already there. And where is our take profit? I'm going to zoom out and see what level we can use. All right, resistance 78.1. That gives us a 2.6. Or maybe Bitcoin wants to come up to this previous node. Maybe we go to the real resistance at 89. Zen Master being greedy. Being greedy. All right. We do got to be careful with this bearish divergence as well. I'm also pointing out all of the bearish things about this as I'm looking for a bullish setup. Price getting higher, momentum going lower. That means a loss of steam. A loss of steam can bring price down, but it also can just bring price sideways. Maybe this, ends up being something like this. I'm just opening my mind and possibilities here. What if it's something like this? Equal highs, higher lows, bullish consolidation. Look at it on a 5 minute again. That would actually make sense if the double top comes down a bit too, give it a little bit more room there. I think I'm gonna do this trade, and we could even afford a deeper stop loss now because we're kind of making it a bigger trade. It seemed like this is more like maybe like a 15-minute trade. Let's see what this looks like. 15-minute time frame. Use this low right here around 77.7. I'm cooking something up for you. I'm cooking. Let me cook. Let the Zen Master cook. Somebody said gold. What's gold doing? Can you tell me what gold's doing? I'm in a gold trade, I believe. Let me know what gold's doing, and I'll look at it as well. But yeah, I'm looking to potentially long this. I'm just looking for extra confluence. It seemed like it could be a good long, but maybe there's a better entry to be had. So that's the only reason why I'm hesitating a little bit here. You know, kind of straight up channel. A lot of bear div I'm seeing. So this potentially may just go sideways or retrace a bit. Let's make a smaller trend like that. I don't know. I kind of like that 5-minute trade. Delete all ideas. Kind of like that 5-minute. I would say the stochastics are coming up pretty quickly here. Equal highs, higher lows, ascending triangle, entry. Let's see if there's an entry now, stop loss there, and then take it up to like 78,900. Yeah, that's a trade. That's a trade, folks. Let's do it. Let's do it.
This is not attention. Trade inbound. Attention. Trade alert. High probability setup found. Time to blindly follow JP. Sin City Crypto. New trade alert. This is not financial advice.
All right, baby. Not financial advice whatsoever, but I'm putting in the trade for Bitcoin. Entry right now. I don't care. Stop loss will be at 77,216. Let's put it in on Bitunix right now. Win or lose, I just want some action, baby. I want some action. So I'm going to enter now. Stop loss. If you want to follow me, 77,216. Take profit is going to be at 78,974. Let's do that. 78,974. All right. Get a nice little risk reward ratio here. Let's risk $750 to make $2,500. Why not? Bam, in the trade. Somebody asked me about gold, and I should have a gold position here. Gold, there it is. I'm currently in a gold trade. I put out a gold trade earlier in the Discord. Once again, the Zen trading zone in the Discord. Let me bring that up for you. Show you the exact reason why I got into the trade. If you navigate over to Hangouts, is at the JP Zen trading zone. Right before the stream today, I said I was taking this gold trade based on this inverted head and shoulder on the 4-hour time frame with these numbers. Stop loss 4,485. My entry was around 4,565, and take profit at 4,753. We'll see how that trade is shaping up right now. And we are in the money. Stochastics heading in the right direction. Look at this on a proper time frame. 4-hour still above the moving averages. I'm looking for the super trend here to go green. I use this super trend indicator, this kind of red line here on Bitunix. We're in the money, but just slightly. I do see somewhat of a ascending triangle there. Let me take this to trading view to really show you. Give me that 4-hour time frame. Here is that trade setup. I'm seeing equal highs, just like on Bitcoin, and higher lows. That's bullish. Equal highs and higher lows makes an ascending triangle above the 50 MA. A gold should run. Gold should run, and we're testing the highs right now. I see a breakout imminent. Breakout imminent on gold right now, everybody. We'll see what happens. Could it just get rejected like these other times, these wicks here? Pump, rejection, pump, rejection, pump, rejection, pump. Maybe this is it this time. Maybe, but let me reset the idea and go to the small time frames and see what's happening right now for gold. And I'll also look at oil to see what's going on in the oil market. 5-minute time frame, gold is just kind of chopping around. That's not a terrible thing when you're chopping around above resistance. I got to tell you that. And I once again see the ascending triangle. You see it? Kind of like that. Equal highs, higher lows, ascending triangle. That's exactly what we just traded on Bitcoin. That's a 5-minute time frame. Let me go to a 1 minute. 1 minute, tried to dump, found support, micro reversal, came up, now testing the 200 MA again. Bull flag right there. That's a little mini bull flag. And this looks like it's about to move. That's the 1 minute. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to look at oil. See what's going on in the oil market, which is closed, by the way. But was it open earlier with at least, the NASDAQ futures? It was. All right. So let's zoom out. What a bear flag. And this is all today, by the way. This is a 5-minute time frame. Huge bear trend there. So you got a mini bear flag right there within a larger bearish consolidation. This looks like a descending triangle here. So we just looked at ascending triangles. This is a descending. The reason why it's descending is because lower highs, right? Lower highs and equal lows kind of right there. Not perfect, right? And this was not lower right there. Not perfect, but no pattern is perfect, and you get the general idea here. It's just a way of doing data analysis. That's a descending triangle for all intents and purposes. Okay, that dumped as it should. It dumped, and now it's rolling over in the bear flag. Oil goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Has kind of like that inverse relationship. All right. What else am I missing? What else am I missing here, folks? Crypto bubbles by market cap. Bitcoin up 1.2% on the day. Ethereum up 1.3. I got BNB 0.9. Solana up 0.7. What is this? What is Bobo? Why is it so big on the market cap? Is this a glitch? Can somebody help me here? What the hell is Bobo? And why is it bigger than ETH? This is not right. Who paid for that promotion? What's happening here? It makes no sense. Bobo should not be that big. It's not bigger than Solana. It's not bigger than ETH. It's not bigger than BNB. This is supposed to be market cap, by market cap. Really? Are we getting trolled? I think we're getting trolled somehow, some way. Wow. Anyway, trades are up. Just about every trade is up right now. We're in. I did put out a Bitcoin scalp. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin scalp right now. Let me see. Actually, no, the Bitcoin trade is currently slightly down. Let's see what's going on with it. BTC. We're kind of flirting right around our entry right now. Bring up Bitcoin on TradingView. Let's see what it's looking like. Oh, yeah, we're just hanging out at the bottom of the pattern. That's completely fine. Hanging out at the bottom of the pattern. I'm not worried until you lose way down here. Like, I even expect you could lose the pattern to get back in it. But so far in the pattern, this can fill all at once. Bottom of the pattern, top of the pattern, bottom of the pattern. Chug around, top of the pattern, bottom of the pattern. It can keep doing that till it gets tight and then it eventually makes a move either way. But in the pattern, not too much going on there. But I'll say the momentum does look like it's starting to slide. Red dot looks like it's about to lose the 0 line. Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, nothing happening there. Nothing happening on Bitcoin on a 5 minute. 1 minute is a bit struggling below the 200, but I'm seeing that kind of complex once again. I hope this is not just my bullish bias, but I do see that complex inverted head and shoulder. I'm not worried until you actually lose structure, which has not happened. All right, and last chance for deep dives. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the chat here. All right. Rex Futures. Yeah, man, they trolling us with that Bobo thing, man. What was that? Can somebody fill me in? Fully diluted market cap. Plain Sailor says. Interesting. Kutu says the bubbles are by percentage of the gain or loss, not market cap. I think it's both, depending on what you select. If you go to crypto bubbles, you see up top it says by MC, by market cap, or by or by like by 1 hour, 1 day. Like if you do the 1 day, it's doing like the percentage based on a day. You see what I'm saying? Let me make sure you can see it. Sorry. Yeah, like you could do 1 hour or like 1 day. 1 day it'll do like whatever is doing the highest percentage in a day, right? But market cap, the bubbles should be relative to the market cap of the coin in the market, with Bitcoin being the highest market cap and ETH being the second. This Bobo should not be here. Okay. Bobo should not be there. I don't know what's going on, who's trolling us, what's happening. But once again, back to the chat. Mr. Golfbank says, can you look at hype, please? Or maybe because you said please. Mr. Pabs, I gotta say, says, gotta love that trade alert. I got you. Muhammad Gold to 10K. All right. We are in a golden zone, 1 hour, 15-minute order block. Is that right, Fat Films? Are you talking about Bitcoin? All right. I'm going to go to hype. Hype losing it on a 1 minute right now. Yeah, hype is losing it. I don't like this chart though. Let's go to Bybit. There we go. Losing it, bear flagging, rolling over, double top, red dot, high Stokes, all the bearish stuff, not showing the chart. Here we go. Hype on the 5 minute, bear trend right there, below the 200. You see the high Stokes, red dot, red money flow, double top. Everything pretty bearish about that right now on the short term, I gotta say. Very bearish. 15 minute looks like it did bounce off the 200, but it looks like you're coming right back down to test it again. Pretty bearish in the small time frames for hype, especially look at that 1 minute. Look at that perfect spillover. This is why I mentioned the moving averages so much. Okay. This is why I mentioned it so much, because these critical levels right there, it double top and dumped from the 200 on the 1 minute. The daily still bullish, but it was, you know, you had a big move. This should retrace. The retracement is happening in real time right now. That's it for hype. Hype is bearish on those small time frames. All right, and I'll just look at Solana one more time real quick, and then, folks, I got to slide out of here, unfortunately. But we are Monday through Friday in the actual studio. We're just, you know, I'm home right now because of the holiday. Happy Memorial Day, once again. But we'll be back in the studio tomorrow for normal trading. But Solana is a bit bearish on the smaller time frames right now, losing the 3 minute on the 200, retracing on the 15. I still see that inverted complex on the medium time frame. Small time frames looking a bit shaky on some altcoins right now, and probably even Bitcoin. Let's see. Bitcoin is right at the bottom of our pattern right now. Can it get a bounce? Can it get a bounce? Get back to Solana real quick. 4 hour time frame. 4-hour. All I'm seeing is inverted head and shoulders, but you are overbought. Looks like it could roll over. Very much could roll over at resistance. Excuse me. And Solana looks a little bit pathetic on a daily. I got to be honest, a little bit pathetic. It's looking a lot like AVAX. Like, why are you just hanging out at the very, very low on the daily? Like, you're that far from the 200? You're that far? You can't get a real move? Come on, Solana. Folks, I just say take it time frame by time frame. You know, this seems to be a scalper's market right now. You know, scalping with a deep stop loss seems to be the recipe right now. Oil on the way down, gold on the way up, but retracing on those bigger time frames. I see somewhat of a falling wedge there on gold. Gold kind of being a proxy of Bitcoin now. All right, with that said, I think that's all I got today. Once again, back in the normal studio in the beautiful Sin City Studios tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay, for the trading show. Until then, be safe, you know, trade responsibly, and we appreciate all the love, support. Hit that like button. It's not too late. Got to promote those likes. Hit the likes, subscribe to the channel. If it's your first time here, we give you consistent cryptocurrency market analysis, Bitcoin, altcoins. We try to find you those trade alerts and help you make money every single day. And we got a last minute super chat here interrupting the outro and wants me to look at Zen and ENS. Okay, I got you, Mohammed. I appreciate the $4.99 super chat. Oh, Todd, thank you so much. Says, yeah, JP, you have been a great addition to the Sin City gang. Hey, thank you so much. All right, I'll get back into the charts really quick just for Muhammad. He sent the super chat. If you also want to hold me, go just send super chats. We'll keep the show going as long as the super chats come in. But seriously, let's look at Zen. I believe Zen was one of those privacy coins too, right? Zen Horizon. I like the name. Very Zen. All right, start you on a daily time frame for Zen. I do see rounded bottom. But you haven't really gotten a move yet. Stokes pointing down on a daily. You have not passed resistance. In fact, you got rejected at resistance right here at 656 to 21 MA on a daily. You do have a green dot and a double bottom currently. Could you take another stab at resistance and get above it? Zen needs to in order to make a reversal. But the reversals will happen on the small time frames first. So let's do that. Let's do something different. Let's start on the 1 minute here. See what the small time frame is doing on Zen. Low volume candles here. You did have a big move up. Starting to consolidate, go sideways, but losing moving averages now. 5 minute time frame, and that's a bull flag. That's a bull flag. Low Stokes, momentum sliding. Can it bottom out? Look for like curvature there on the bottom. Oh, wow. Muhammad not playing. He said, we're going to keep this show going. That is another $9.99 super chat for Muhammad. He said, let's keep this going for another 10 minutes. You know what? I got you. So it is currently about 11:46 here Pacific time. I'll go past 12. You know what? I won't even nickel and dime you. You know, I'll do another 10 minutes for sure and look into some more other coins. And you know what, folks? Once again, I was joking, but he's serious. You want to keep this thing going? Show your appreciation. Show a little super chat. You know, I do a lot of dives without super chats, but you know, even if you don't want a super chat, send it in. Maybe we'll keep it going. If you want some analysis, especially on specific coins. But yeah, Zen on that 5 minute, could you bottom out on the momentum? I'm seeing somewhat of a bull flag here. Stochastics. There we go. Stochastics, a reset. Stochastics reset. Could that be a nice little scalp? Potential 5-minute scalp there. I mean, look at that. 5-minute huge dump. I'm very bullish on these MA crosses, and you see why. You cross the MA and you change trend. You start going up. That was a inverse head and shoulder. It's freaking everywhere. It broke up. That's what I'm trading on gold. That's what I'm trading on Solana. And this is your breakup. That's your breakup, and this is your retracement. Stokes have now reset. We're looking to potentially bounce again. It looks like it may want to test the bottom of the pattern one more time, and maybe that's your opportune entry. I'm going to give you a scalp here on Zen Horizon. And I'm not going to do right now. Your boy is always doing right now entries. Let me give you a high probability entry at the bottom of the pattern. 631 on the entry. Stop loss below the 200, somewhere around here. I highly recommend deep stop losses in these markets. How deep do you want it, baby? That's really deep. That's a really deep stop loss for a scalp. But it's how you guarantee, not guaranteed, but it's how you make sure you don't get stopped out and the thing just keeps going your direction. And you make up for it by having a deeper take profit. You do a bigger scale trade. That's a 3.95. So a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio on Horizon. Wow.
Advice.
Why does it start at the end there? Help me out with this later, God King, okay?
Attention. Trade alert. Trade inbound. This is not financial advice.
Once again, not financial advice, but we got a trade alert on Horizon. That's a scalp. I might regret this if I look at the higher time frames again, but we'll see. That is a bull flag after a trend reversal. Could get you back up to the top of the range at 6.9. I like the trade. Entry will be, let me give you the numbers here on Horizon. Make sure you write these down. Entry at 6.317. Stop loss at 6.146. I'm sorry, 6.146. Let me put those decimals there for you. And take profit at 6.991. Once again, 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. Horizon now in the uptrend on the 5-minute time frame. And holy moly, I appreciate your Planet Sailor. We got more super chats coming in. You're not allowing me to leave, which I like and appreciate. Planet Sailor sending 777. Looks like a British pound. Says much appreciated. I appreciate you even more than you know. Thank you so much, man. A lot of appreciation from the community here. Not letting me leave and keeping this show going. I like this. So what else did you want to see, Muhammad? You wanted Zen and ENS. Let me just, for my full due diligence, let me just look at like a 4-hour on Zen, and then I'll get into your ENS. 4-hour, you're kind of at resistance right now. 4-hour could be bearish. You got to be careful. High Stokes. Money flow is in the green though, but do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? I see a double bottom. We're at the neckline right now. Can you get above it and to the measured move? The funny thing is the measured move should make that 5-minute trade we just set up play out like right perfectly, right in that zone I wanted it to be, around 6.9, 6.8, something like that, if the double bottom plays out. But be careful, and I hope we don't get stopped out, because sometimes these double bottoms like to have a little handle on them before they really make the move, especially when you're right at resistance there. But hopefully that deep stop loss really helps in this situation. Okay, that's why I gave you the deep stop loss, to help you in exactly that scenario. All right, we looked at Horizon. Let's look at ENS. ENS on the 4-hour. Seeing double bottom, seeing inverted, seeing a lot there. But let's go to the daily. All right, ENS kind of looks like Solana, kind of looks like, you know, AVAX, like on a daily, kind of doing nothing, give me nothing, right? But you know what? This looks like one of those coins. Was it Ondo? Was it one of those coins looked like this? Big run up. That was a big move. Let's be honest here. That was a huge move. Gave it all back. Stopped out a lot of people. Very high leverage. A lot of people lost money on that move down. But look at you now. You're starting to get a rounded bottom on the daily. Green dot, low Stokes, long setup on the daily for ENS above the point of control. I see it, you know, pump into the 200, 815. Very possible. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. There's that big run up, gave it all the way back. This reminds me of Solana so much, of Swede. They all did that big move, gave it all the way back, resetting, maybe another move, maybe a smaller move, or maybe it just dumps, right? I don't know. High Stokes, red money flow. Just about to go green, though. Red money flow, just about to go green, trending in the right direction. Momentum trending up on the 4-hour, but at resistance. Tough stuff there. 1 hour, super bullish. Super bullish. You got a double bottom, breakout above the 200, double golden cross at the same damn time there. Double golden cross. Yeah, that 1 hour looks good. It's just a little bit overbought a little bit here. So I do expect it to come down a bit, but so far pretty bullish on 1 hour. 15-minute bullish trend, clearly inverse head and shoulders season. It's everywhere. Complex it. Add some complexity. It's a very small time frames. I got low volume candles are not amazing on ENS. Hold on, let me fix that. OKX, nope, not any better. Qcoin, not any better. Wait. Oh my God. Binance, that looks insane. I can't even look at the small time frames. Yeah, but based on the moving average and what I can barely see from these candles, it is above the 200. It is in a bull trend on the very small time frames. ENS there for you. Bullish on the macro. Looks a lot like Solana on the 4-hour and all that jazz. All right, we got more super chats coming in, believe it or not here, folks. Another $9.99. Muhammad says, keep it going. Well, he didn't say keep it going, but he's saying that by super chatting again. Metis, what is it? Metis DAO. Vitalik's mom's token. Okay, you talking about the Ethereum Vitalik? That guy, his mom. She's she's about to rug us. Is she really have a coin? An ALCX and Atom. Okay, let's look at it. I like this. Deep dive in coins I don't normally look at. I love it. Thank you so much, Muhammad. We appreciate you. Back to the charts. Look at me remembering to cut to cut back to it. Legendary God King says 24-hour stream. Hey, we'll do it if we keep those super chats flowing for 24 hours. Imagine that. I'm trying to pay the bills at the studio, okay? We got bills to pay over there. We got an expensive studio. I'm trying to make some money, help out Dave and my boy Rob. Big shout out to Dave and Rob. I love you guys. Happy holiday, happy Memorial Day, guys. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm holding it down for you so you don't have to be in the charts right now. All right, let's get into it. Mohammed Metis DAO. Metis DAO. Okay, low volume candles again. It must be a very small market cap coin. What exchange is it good to look on? I'm looking on, it looks like it is on Coinbase. Okay, this should be good. Coinbase, daily time frame, Metis. Struggling on the daily. Struggling for a bullish move, that is, on a daily. What's interesting, though, is, do you see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big wick right here. You see that huge wick? Rejection, major rejection. People FOMO'd in on that and Some people made some money. I bet you more people lost a lot of money. A lot of people lost money once again on that. Big move up, gave it all the way back, came back down. That was rolling over too. I'm surprised that it didn't go lower. Found some support, bounce, lost it again, starting to roll over now. Momentum to the downside, money flow red. I gotta say, it looks a bit bearish on the daily right now, but you get bearish to get bullish. You know, this thing spills over one more time. Ooh, take some people down there. Big move up, and you get your inverted, and then you actually start to recover. I can see something like that. That's what I'm projecting. I can't tell the future. No one can. But based on probability, I mean, you're pointing down. You see how clearly your stochastics is pointing down, saying the momentum is to the downside right now on the daily. But question, is there some other micro reversal happening here? 1 minute time frame. Oh my God, this is undoable. I can't do these candles. It's not enough trading data there. That looks crazy, but it is chopping. No trend reversal yet on the small time frames. Let me go to an actual like time frame I could analyze here. 4 hour. I couldn't do that one. And why is this so big all of a sudden? Okay, there we go. All right, 4 hour time frame. You might have a little bit of a bounce here. I see we're at support. Let me draw a trend line here. You are at support. You see this level here, bounce, retrace, bounce, rejection, lose it, bearish retest. Looks like a bearish retest right now. Red money flow. It has a green dot, so it says the ebb and flow might be on a higher low right now. Maybe we get a higher low. I'm sorry, a lower high. Let me correct myself. A lower high potential. And it may have already put in the lower high right there. This could go lower. I'm seeing potential lower, but you are at support on the 4 hour. There is a green dot. The stochastics is kind of showing up here, pointing up. So you could get a bounce potentially there on a 4 hour. 1 hour, it just looks bearish. It just looks bearish. You look dump. Pump, rejection, pump, rejection again, pump, rejection. A lot of bear flags there, a lot of bear flags and getting rejected at moving averages on the 1 hour. Okay, 15 minute. 15 minute looks like it may want to reverse soon. These candles are horrible to look at, but it looks, I can see by the moving averages it's about to cross the 200. So, you know, you might get something going on there. All right, so I think that does it for Metis. You also want to look at ALCX. Let's take a look. ALCX on Binance should be, oh man, those candles look crazy. These must be all of those low market cap gems here that Muhammad is giving me. Daily time frame is at the low of the low of the low. Like, have you ever been lower? Are you trying to get rich here, Muhammad? I think you're trying to get rich. You might be rich. You're keeping the show open. That's a macro downtrend. But I'm seeing this thing like, you see, it almost seems like it's getting tight in a way. Like, imagine if this is like on a smaller time frame. I could see it like, obviously downtrend, obviously, but it gets to a point where you're just pinned down. You're so pinned down. And then if you can kind of increase the volume, maybe you actually break above the moving averages and start getting your breakout. But there's no sign of it yet. It tried here, rejection, tried here, rejection, tried here, rejection. Not even trying yet. It's not even trying. It's just kind of it's just coming down right now on the daily. But, you know, this is the lowest. You know, you have a previous level here that you did bounce from. I don't know what it does now, but I'll go to some other time frames here. 4-hour ALCX. That looks like a descending triangle. Yeah, that's bearish. Red money flow. You do have some bull div. I'll tell you that. You do have some bullish divergence. But I see this as a descending triangle. Lower highs, equal lows. Red money flow. Dump ya. Unless, of course, you break above these moving averages and say, I don't care. But yeah, kind of bearish on a 4-hour. It does have a green dot. Stokes curved up. Mixed messages there, right? 2-hour. Getting above the 21. Stokes high. Still looks pretty bearish, though, to me. Yeah, so everything is bearish right now. 15-minute. There's a little bit of bull hope there for you. Bull flag above the 200. 21 catching up. Sammy special inbound. There's a potential trade right there for you, Muhammad. Very high risk. 15-minute bull flag. Low Stokes. Could you start the reversal? You're trying to find the bottom. High risk, but I see a potential setup there. Wow. Yeah, I can't really go lower. You see how the candles look all robotic like that? Like just low volume, automated trading. Just it's hard to really do analysis on that. So I can't go any lower than that. Man, these super chats are coming in. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to bring up Atom. Atom USDT on Binance. We will start on the daily time frame. All right, let me show some more love here in this chat. So big shout out to Todd Keaton. Sent one Sin City crypto gift membership. We appreciate you, Todd. You gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Hey, Dave, if you're listening, let's maybe we should start using that member area more. I could upload some stuff. I really like the idea of that. Thank you so much, Todd. And then Mohammed, man, I might have to give you your own sound effect or something. He says thanks for being here. He gives $19.99, $20 super chat. Already keeping me up, keeping the stream going. I tried to shut down the stream. He stopped me from shutting it down by sending super chats and then sends an extra one on top of it all just to show appreciation. I appreciate you so much, Mohammed. So much love for you. I will remember you, okay? So here is the daily time frame on Cosmos. I see a bullish cross inbound here. Look at that. Cosmos looks ready to go. So this is how I would trade this. I would trade this actually on the daily. I will put my stop loss below the 50. And if you really wanted that deep stop loss, like you're not getting stopped out, put it down at 182. Like Bitcoin would have to really dump. But Cosmos is interesting too, because a lot of people got, a lot staked on Cosmos. They have like one of the highest staking fees, right? Like 14% or whatever it was, 12% on Cosmos. So I like the idea of that. Stop loss way down there below the 50 and below the previous low right there. And let's see, where can we take profit? Right there. There you go. 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. I got a daily trade here for Cosmo. I think we got to do it.
Attention. Trade alert. Trade inbound. This is not financial advice.
All right. Only thing here is I got to fix my entry. I keep forgetting to move my entry in the proper area. So let's see, even if you had an entry now, you notice I do a lot of entry nows because I just don't like speculating. As a trader, I don't like speculating. I don't like speculating on how low it could go or necessarily how high it could go. I like to see where it's at right now and what's the high probability setup. Not what I want to happen, but what's probable. What's probable is once you get past this moving average, you get a big pump. Okay, you get a big pump. So, but you need a better risk reward ratio if you're going to have that deep of a stop loss. And I like deep stop losses. What if it was a bigger trade, a bigger reversal trade right there? That makes it a 3.3 risk reward. I like that. And let's zoom out. Cosmo, bear market lows. Now you see how reasonable it looks. The trade actually looks pretty reasonable now because you're so low. Double bottom on the super macro on the weekly. That looks like Solana on a 4-hour, how it gave it all back right there. But yeah, but you're on a super low bear market low on Cosmo. And the thing is, you could take this trade and it still reject at the 50 here. You see how many times it rejected at the 50 MA on the daily. We're just playing it up to the 50 MA with some serious bullish divergence here on the weekly. Weekly bullish divergence. Are you kidding me? Weekly bullish divergence. This thing may just pop off. I might have put a double trade alert on that.
Attention, trade inbound. Attention, trade alert. High probability setup found. Time to blindly follow JP. Sin City Crypto. New trade alert. This is not financial advice.
Absolutely not financial advice. Don't sue me. Okay, so entry now on Cosmo. Stop loss at 1.816. Take profit at 3.214. That's a 3.3 risk reward ratio using the daily time frame on Cosmos. Heavy bullish divergence there. Could continue to break you up. I can see symmetry happening, complex, inverted, head and shoulder, potentially. That's why I got the deep stop loss. Keep you in the trade. That's a Zen trade. I stand by this trade. I stand by this message. Like a politician. Okay, yeah, I like that. So there you go on Cosmos. I do got to get down to the smaller time frames and see what's going on. 4-hour time frame seems to be in a nice bull trend. I see it trending up above the moving averages and just kind of coasting. A little bit overbought right now, but you're coasting. Not too bad. 1-hour time frame, a little bit choppy, but still coasting above what I assume is support. Yeah, when you consolidate above support, I mean, that's bullish. 5 minute kind of retracing there. Momentum sliding to the downside. Could that be cat ears? But cat ears with the rounded bottom. A cat got got an indented head there. I don't know. Either way, I do see the double top potentially there. 5 minute, 3 minute. Just kind of sitting right above the 200 green dot, low Stokes, but pointing down. 1 minute, lost it. Lost the moving average on a super micro. Could come down. Yeah, small time frames a little bit overworked. Medium time frames kind of coasting in a bullish trend. Daily time frame for Cosmos just about to get a big move. Or does it just reject? I mean, your boy could be wrong. I clearly could be wrong. This could just be the high and get rejected. But, you know, we'll see what happens with the rest of the market. But, you know, based on structure, on the macro structure, I can see this getting a move to the upside. All right, get back into this chat here. D Crypto, good to see you. Happy Memorial Day. Says, I love the marathon stream. Legendary God King says, I've heard people say the members only is kind of 3 years old. Yeah, unfortunately, don't worry, guys. I'm going to put some new content there in the members area. I'm going to talk to Dave and Rob about it and see what we could hook up for you over there. Definitely want to start putting a lot of new content on this channel for you. Todd Keaton says Muhammad's model is everything to zero. Hello, Muhammad. Muhammad says, what's up, Todd? And there we go, another super chat. Oh, man. What's going on? That's Muhammad again, still showing love at $9.99. Muhammad, ICP to $550 guarantee. And that is financial advice. Hey, nobody clipped me on that. I didn't say that. Okay, that was Muhammad. Muhammad said ICP to 550 guaranteed. Is that possible? Let me look at ICP one more time. Is that in the cards, or is Muhammad just, I don't know, grandstanding here? Let's see. ICP. ICP is currently at $2.70. Let's go to like a weekly and a monthly. Oh man, Mohammed. Well, where has it been before? I'm laughing, but ICP literally at one time in its life, and that looks crazy. What kind of chart is that? What was ICP really at like $3,000 at one time? I'm laughing at 500, but it was at $2,700 at one point in time, sometime in 21. Is this true? And we're at $2 right now? Somebody help me. Lord help me. Zen gods, rescue me. What in the world? How do you... What happened? Can somebody tell me what happened to ICP? Oh my God. What is going on here? I don't even know. I don't know how to analyze that, honestly. Not too many charts stump me, but I gotta look at like a yearly chart or something, or monthly, yearly. It's the only way you can really analyze that. Okay, this monthly is, I guess, doable. Let me see here. Yeah, I need like a yearly chart. I need like yearly candles. But what I am seeing on the monthly is a green dot on the monthly, Stokes curving up, stochastics curving up, no money flow data because of the huge time frame. The moving averages are pointing down. Obviously, you dump from $2,000. And I also see that we are finding support where we found it before over here. And that makes it a what? A double bottom potential? Or maybe even some type of rough Adam and Eve. I mean, the Adam should be more V-like, right? V rounded, but you see how rounded this is here. Maybe this is like a beta Adam, or one of those like non-binary atoms, maybe. Adam, potential Eve, curve up. But that tells me that would take a long time. Like we're looking at like 2027, like December 2027, if it did something like that. Or maybe it's a little bit sharper. Maybe it's like that. Maybe it pumps in December later this year based on that. Let me see. Let's look at, I want to look at a yearly chart. I do want to look at a yearly chart. Give me a 12-month candle. Jesus. Oh. Man. Oh, man. I don't know what you want me to do with this. I don't know what you want me to do with this. But it looks like a rug pull on the 12-month, right? You can't do analysis on that. It's just a big dump since inception. And then it has a descending triangle. Equal lows, lower highs, bearish consolidation, monthly. So I don't know, Muhammad, I love you and I appreciate you, but I don't know about ICP. Well, you said $500, right? You didn't say $2,700. You didn't say it's going to go all the way back up. But even 500, man, I don't know, bro. I can't see it in that wick zone. Like there would have to be something, some type of catalyst to have ICP revisit those levels. Like, I don't know, man. I can't see it. I can't project it. I can only look at, the kind of right now time frames and telling you what's happening. And right now what's happening on a daily is that it could be a nice bottom there. Could be a nice bottom. Maybe it just puts in a lower high. I wouldn't get too excited about it. But there is a nice bottom on the daily for ICP. So we'll see, Muhammad. If you're right, you're right. All right, back to my chat. And I want to look at the crypto bubbles before we actually really end the stream. But let's see. Decrypto, I'm going to buy all the ICP because of Muhammad's advice. He did give you financial advice. I didn't. He gave you financial advice. Yeah, man, ICP here. Shout out to Plain Sailor. Who else we got in here? Man, I'm really having a hard time reading somebody's name. Zom, WTF. JP, where did you hide the bodies of your co-hosts? Well, that's not very nice. That's not very nice. I wish I was witty enough to give you a nice joke in response to that, but they are enjoying their holiday, okay? And Dave is enjoying his international trip in Francais. Rob is probably cooking somewhere in his backyard, but we'll be back in the studio, me and Rob, tomorrow, okay, at the normal time. We do have new hours now, if it's been a while for you. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Monday through Friday. And yeah, what's that, like 1 p.m. Eastern Time? 1 p.m. Eastern Time, a Monday through Friday. But I did do some weekend streams this previous weekend. Maybe more weekend streams to come. I would like to. Would you like that? We got Koozie Can Bump It. Interesting names. Daily looks decent, though, for real. You must be talking about ICP. Plain Sailor, UPICP. And Decrypto, FTX sold and shorted more ICP than they had ICP tokens created. That seems a bit concerning there, if there's any truth to that. Wow. Okay, let's look at final look at Bitcoin on the casino. And I say final look because I will be ending the stream. Unless, of course, more super chats come in and keeping it going for a marathon stream. But whatever. I guess I do got to eat lunch at some point, right? And maybe fire up that grill Memorial Day. But here is the casino. It looks like a current pull to the downside. But I see it starting to curve a little bit there. Wait. God King's like, hit the live button. You're not live. Hit the live button on the casino to make sure it's the most live data. Here's the live data. 42 trades per minute, slightly elevated. I see, it is on a pull to the downside, but starting to curve a little bit and putting some green candles on the Heikin-Ashi chart. So this is not normal candle charts. This is the Heikin-Ashi that really highlights the trend. So could this be a little bit of a bottom and then actually start pumping here? I don't know. Not confirmed yet. The 1 minute did go bearish on the casino here. The 2 through the 30 still bullish. Higher time frames bullish. I'm seeing a mix of buys and sells. Mostly buys on my screen currently, but they're not really moving. It looks a bit low volume at the moment. Maybe the move was just earlier today with the NASDAQ being open. Maybe Bitcoin, just a low volume manipulation Monday holiday edition, maybe dumps for the rest of the day. I don't know. But I know that I am trading responsibly. My risk is appropriate and I'll be fine either way the market goes. But yeah, the casino pulled to the downside under the zero line. Not too much demand for Bitcoin right now. All right. Well, I think that'll do it, folks. I appreciate you so much. I will be, once again, back in the studio tomorrow. Happy holiday. Enjoy your day. Make some money. Let me know how the trade alerts work out. Okay. I'll be in the Discord. Link for the Discord in the video. Always updating always updating the Discord with my ideas and charts in the Zen Trading Zone. You'll also find links to Bitunix, and a breakout prop trading firm is a crypto prop trading firm in the description. Okay, so once again, appreciate you folks. Take care. See you tomorrow.